303B, reverse, 1.5 pike. That would be an incorrect dive. Mike McKinney, San Diego Mesa, 5111A, forward dive, half twist straight. Scores. 5 1/2, 4 1/2, 5, 4, 5, 5 1/2, 4 1/2. Jesse Vanderkolk, San Diego Mesa, 5221D, back somersault with a half twist. Scores. 5 1/2, 6, 5, 5, 6, 6, 6 1/2. Noah Luna, Chafee, 105C, forward, 2.5 tuck. Scores. 5, 5 1/2, 5, 4, 5, 4 1/2, 5 1/2. Jose Espinosa, San Joaquin Delta, 301C, reverse dive tuck. Scores. 5, 6, 4 1/2, 5, 5 1/2 across. Jake Norman, College of Sequoias, 201A, back dive straight. Scores. 4, 4 1/2, 4 1/2, 4 1/2, 4 1/2, 5, 5. Brandon Guy, College of Marin, 302C, reverse somersault tuck. Scores. 4, 4 1/2, 4 1/2, 4, 3 1/2, 4 1/2, 4 1/2. Brendan Brown, Riverside, 303C, reverse 1.5 tuck. Scores. 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 6, 5, 5 1/2, 5, 5 1/2. Cole Gerard, Orange Coast, 5231D, back 1.5 with a half twist. Scores. 4, 4 1/2, 4, 4 1/2, 3 1/2, 4, 3 1/2. Travis Russo, College of San Mateo, 51-32D, forward 1.5 with 1 twist. Scores 6, 6, 6, 6, 6 1/2, 5 1/2, 6 1/2. Stetson Tate, Sierra, 53-21D, reverse somersault with a half twist. Scores 3, 4 1/2, 3, 3 1/2, 3, 3, 3 1/2. Andrew Saint Germain, Clovis, 52-11A, back dive with a half twist straight. Scores 3 1/2, 0, 4, 3, 4, 2, 3. Alexander McKee, Cuesta, 403C, inward 1.5 tuck. Scores 4, 3 1/2, 4 1/2, 4, 4, 4, 3 1/2. Andre Jaramillo, Mount Sac, 104B, forward double somersault pike. Scores 2, 1 1/2, 2 1/2, 2 1/2, 2, 2 1/2, 2. Dustin White, Merced, 53-21D, reverse somersault with a half twist. Scores 2, 2 1/2, 2, 1 1/2, 2, 2, 2. And our final dive of the contest, Aaron Garcia, Riverside, 52-33D, back 1.5, 1.5 twists. Scores 3 1/2, 2 1/2, 4, 3, 3, 3, 3 1/2. Thank you very much, divers, coaches. We'll have some awards soon. Coaches, if I could see you over here quickly, please. Only take a moment. Coaches, briefly, please. Coaches, briefly, thank you.